Oh, it's darker than I thought. Here, let me turn the light on real quick. Oh, there we go. I think that's a little bit better. I don't know. It's a little shadowy. Oh well, I'm here. We're gonna be sharing the screen any. Oh, there we go. Now I'm. Oh, that looks super bright. Looks like I just died and went to heaven. Okay. Hi. How's it going? Uh, I did. I finished my reading tier list earlier today. I was hoping to get to this sooner, but I got tied up with some stuff at work, which I will probably see if I can get back to after this. But I've got some time. I want to go ahead and get the next one of these done. I believe I have three left: video games, shows, and movies. I want to go ahead and get video games done. So let's share my screen here. And here we go. Of course, full spoilers for everything involved. So let's go ahead. So here, I believe this is all the games that I played in 2025. Not all of them I finished. You see the Snoop Dogg tier for anything I dropped like it was hot. But what I want to go ahead and start with, and I'll go in and say this, I don't believe is all in alphabetical order. It was originally, but like I said earlier, when my computer restarted on its own, it had to re-upload the things. And when I re-uploaded them, even though they're saved in alphabetical order, they're no longer in alphabetical order, which sucks and it's annoying, but we'll deal with it. So what I actually want to start with, instead of starting here with Nirvana Initiative, I just kind of want to talk about the fighting games I played. Again, just gonna put everything in B tier, put them in the middle of the screen. Oh, sorry, that I'm actually trying to put in front of that because Marvel 2 and then Marvel 4 is what? Yeah, because Marvel 3 is Marvel 3. Just some of the fighting games I played and to talk about them pretty quick because that's a decent chunk of the list. So the Marvel collection, I played it a couple times just, like, with the boys. We played a decent amount of Marvel too. The team that I really like playing with is Shuma, Akuma, and Anakaris. I like playing Akuma, that's the character I play in Street Fighter because raging demons are really, really fun, very satisfying to get off. And then Shuma and Anakaris are just freaking weirdos. And I feel like in a game with a roster this big with just a bunch of weird characters, it's fun doing freak fights. Like, let's just like one thing we were doing is we would pick each other's characters. It's like, all right, dude, just give me a team of freaks. It's like, okay, Shuma's a freak, Anakaris is a freak, and this is just fun. So and it's really I'm like, "Look, I had a lot of fun playing Marvel." I'm gonna put it right there. Marvel Infinite, honestly, I feel like B is a pretty good place to put it. I played it a few times, I think mostly with Wyatt. We had a lot of fun. I think, like, the Infinity Stone mechanic is pretty interesting. I feel like the action like, some of the characters are really good picks. Sigma and Ultron, I think, are actually pretty solid. Monster Hunter is a really freaking cool pick. But yeah, I don't like the art style. I do think the game looks kinda ugly, and I'm just not I don't the roster feels small. I don't know if it how much smaller it is in terms of the actual numbers, but it feels a lot smaller than Marvel 2 and a lot smaller than Marvel 3. I'm very sad Amaterasu was cut. I haven't played a whole lot of Marvel 3, but I'm a big Okami fan, so I was really, like, excited to see Ami. And so seeing her gone to me, I am not happy about that. The fact that there's no X-Men just feels weird. It definitely felt not like 100%, but definitely feels more MCU focused, and that's not terrible, but I just wasn't crazy about it, but I do think the game is pretty fun. Multiverses! Oh boy, fun fact, this actually wasn't on the list originally, and I just kinda realized, wait, I mean, I did play this for a bit when the game came back on. I should probably put this on the list and lump it when I'm talking about all the fighting games. So here's the thing about multiverses. I think so number 1, I like the concept. Like, here is the Warner Brothers version of Smash Brothers. That's a cool idea. I wanna see that. I like a good chunk of the roster picks. Like, okay, you gotta have, like, Bugs Bunny in there. I was really hoping for the Animaniacs, but we do have some good Cartoon Network characters. Like, the characters I wanted the most were the Animaniacs and Powerpuff Girls. I never played the game again when the Powerpuff Girls came out, but this was a character I really wanted to play. I think that that really just gets into the problem of it. This is a really cool idea with some good picks, but the game feels very sluggish and like its actual engine. And also just the way you grind to get characters just felt slow and not it felt grindy. I just didn't wanna do that. I was like, "Oh shit, the character I really wanted to play just came out." Well, 'cause how the game works, I'm probably not gonna be able to pay them or excuse me, play as them unless I pay for them. I mean, it's not super expensive. It's like what, 10 bucks, 15 bucks for like the battle pass, but it's also like cool. I'm paying 10 bucks for a character. I don't know, it was what, like 5.99 or 6.99 in Smash for a character, stage, and all the music. This this feels like a bit much. It's like, well, you're not just getting that, you're getting all the battle pass. I'm like, yeah, and that's gonna make me feel more inclined to play the game. So I'm like, I don't want to miss out on the shit I just paid for, but it's also really slow. I I don't think I really want to do this. And given the fact that the game is now dead, like actually dead, seems I wasn't the only one. Like their business model is what destroyed them. There's a part of me that says maybe you should. I mean, I guess I did completely drop it. Whereas a lot of these, like I haven't played Street Fighter 6 in a while, but that's not like, man, I'm dropping this. It's just we haven't played with it in a while. This one felt like I actually dropped it. But it is a multiplayer game. It's not like a single player story that I dropped. So I don't know. Part of me really wants to put it in C. Like I like a lot of things. There's a lot of things I don't like, but honestly, I just felt disappointed. So I think D is fair. Street Fighter 6. I think Street Fighter 6 is really neat. I think it's fun. I like the new characters. I like the old characters. I really like the art style. I really like just kind of the game's vibe and its energy. These DLC that I get to play as Akuma. Bison's riding a freaking horse. I really like that. It's just so freaking weird. I'm not like a big Street Fighter lore guy, by the way. Like it seems neat, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. Ugh, getting a little yawny. I haven't been able to play Terry or Mai. That's not gonna happen until I go back. But I'm hoping to. Honestly, I've just had a lot of fun playing Street Fighter 6. So I'll probably put it in A. I think that feels about right. Tekken's going in S. I freaking love playing Tekken. I'm dog shit, by the way. Like I'm bad at all of these games. But I have so there's something about Tekken and just playing Tekken with the boys where it's just a freaking vibe. I really like playing as a lot of different characters. I speaking of freak fights, favorite favorite stage. I don't remember what it's called, but it's the like farm like out in the middle of nowhere and one of the songs is like the yodeling song. It's where we go for our freak fights in Tekken, and generally our freak fights involve law. It's like that's what we get our law dues. It's freaking fun. And afterwards, after we played a fuck ton of Tekken, we realized that song is in Smash Ultimate. So we have had some freak fights in Smash Ultimate, like K. Rule and Cinnamon, Mr. Game and Watch kind of fights with that music, and it's so freaking fun. Um, I just think Tekken is neat as hell. I'm really glad I've got to play a good chunk of it. The game is great. I'm just gonna put this up here. I have a feeling I'm gonna have a few games that are in the double S category. Because, like, let me be real. Gold Rose is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. I don't know where it would go on a whole list of like my top 10 games. I don't think it's gonna be on there, but like top 20, maybe top 50 for sure. This is aside from Smash Brothers, because like I'm always gonna play Smash. I freaking love it. This is the game that got me into fighting games and 2D fighters in particular. I love the art style. I love the music. I love the lore. I love the personality. I love actually playing the ding dang thing. And it was very specifically Peacock. It was seeing this dead ass cartoon character in a fighting game that made me go, I really want to play this. This looks cool as hell. And like, I've always loved fighting games. I've always wanted to really get into them, but I have cerebral palsy. Like, I'm not great at inputs. I've gotten a lot better. Thank you to playing Skullgirls. But I said, like, I want to actually get into this. So let me find a game that I just think is super freaking cool. And this is the one that did it for me. And the fact that Jose also plays it means of all the games on this list, this is the one I have played by far the most. And I genuinely really love playing it. Okay. So we got the fighting games done. Let me go ahead and get another chunk of games done. Let me tackle the Kingdom Hearts stuff that's on here. Okay. So earlier in the year, I think this was like February, March-ish, I tried playing Coded and I tried playing Days, and I'm gonna be honest, I just didn't really get into either of them. I tried, I gave them both a good faith effort. I got to like Coliseum, I think, in Days, or excuse me, in Coded. I don't remember how far I got in Days. I just I just didn't love them. I There was a point playing them where I just kind of thought to myself, am I doing this because I want to, or am I doing this because I think I should? And I realized I'm doing this because I think I should, not because I want to. And if I don't want to, why bother? Like, if this is something for entertainment, obviously, it's like, I don't want to pay my taxes. I'm still going to pay my fucking taxes. Like, this is my entertainment. This is my free time. I'm not going to spend it doing shit I don't want to do. So I'm just going to drop them. Let me get to the others. The fight with Yozora, because at the end of 2023, I was doing the Remind DLC and I did the data fights. Yozora, I actually didn't do until like early 2024. Like, it was still in January, but it didn't quite count. And I might have talked about it a little bit in the 2023 tier lists, but I thought, let me talk about it for sure in 2024. This fight is fucking amazing. um It's hard. It's hard as shit. It's really rough. But it's everything I love about Kingdom Hearts combat. Like, from Kingdom Hearts 2 onwards. Here's a boss. Here are his patterns. Here are its openings. Here's some of the bullshit you can do to kind of make your own openings. Here's some of the tips and tricks to help you here. But it still comes down to your own execution. And sometimes it just comes down to a little bit of luck. The fact that he can start the fight with his DM if he feels like it is fucking stupid. But okay. Um, yeah, I think it's just really fucking fun. Then we get Kingdom Hearts 1. Kingdom Hearts 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. I made my list of 10 JRPG franchises, and I was like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts is number 4, and a lot of that is because of how much I love KH1. KH2 as well, also one of my favorite games ever. But Kingdom Hearts 1 has so much charm to it. And a lot of that just comes from the fact that I like Disney, and a lot of it also comes from the fact that I played it a lot as a kid, because I didn't get the memory. I got the game along with the PlayStation for Christmas. I didn't get the memory card till Easter. So I am very, very familiar with everything from Destiny Island and like Do the Cave of Wonders. Um, but even on top of that, like, just playing the game all the way through, I've done it several times. Like, I times that I have finished Kingdom Hearts, it's probably like 5 or 6. Total times that I have started a playthrough, I have no idea. It is a lot. And I honestly wasn't sure if I wanted to put the game on the list. It's almost kind of like Skullgirls, where I'm like, this wasn't really up for evaluation. I was like, it's not my first time with it. It's not that, hey, it's been a long time. Let me see if it holds up. I'm like, no, both of these absolutely rule. It's with all the fighting games I was playing Skullgirls too. I thought I should include it in the list. And I don't know. I think part of it is Jose is interested in doing critical mode on like Kingdom Hearts 2, and I don't think Chain of Memories has one, but he hasn't played Rechain. So he wants to go through it's the collection thing. The what is it called? Like the story so far with KH1, Chain, KH2, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop, and then Aqua's like prologue, I think, because he played 3 on critical, so now he wants to kind of do all the others. So, technically, it's kinda supposed to be part of an overarching, like, project, which means it does count because I'm evaluating as part of the project, but I didn't evaluate anything else as part of the project. I played these 2 separately from it. But fuck it, like, I played Kingdom Hearts 1 this year, I'm gonna put it at the top of the list, let's go for it. Since we're doing things out of order, I guess now we're gonna talk about Celeste. And Celeste 64, what do you know? Hi. Um, I'll do Celeste 64 first because this is actually a new experience that they came out in 2024. I think it was to honor like the 10-year anniversary. No, wait, when did Celeste come? No, yeah, because I think Celeste came out in 2014. Let me check real quick. No, wait, never mind. But I'm on airplane mode right now. But I believe it came out in 2014. So in 2024 would be the 10-year anniversary. And it's kind of what you imagine. It's Celeste in a 3D plane, similar to Mario 64. And like you're collecting strawberries like they're power stars. I tried streaming it and it didn't work. And I'm so mad because I didn't know it wasn't working until quite a bit later. So like I'm doing this, like I'm having a lot of commentary. I have like a recurring theme and motif throughout the commentary, and then I realize, oh, y'all couldn't hear me. Oh, y'all couldn't see the game. Well, fuck. Um, but then I ended up playing through it with Wyatt, and I was able to see like the whole game. I think there's maybe a couple strawberries we missed, but we did pretty much the whole thing. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a really neat experience. It's like clearly a labor of love, and I appreciate it a lot. It's A for sure. I don't know if I want to put it in S. I think we're gonna do what I did in the last video. I'm gonna give it an A plus. I don't think I'm gonna quite give it an S though. A plus, Select 64, Celeste 64. Good shit. Celeste. Um, so here's the thing. This I am specifically putting on this tier list because I've said it before. When it comes to tier lists, I try to do things I'm experiencing for the first time, something I am actively choosing to re-experience, like rewatch, replay to see how it holds up, or I'm trying to go through like I'm doing a project, like I'm doing all the Ghibli movies. Okay, I have to include Spirited Away. Or I'm gonna watch all the Godzilla movies. So a Godzilla movie I've seen, you're gonna be up for evaluation, et cetera, et cetera. That's not really what happened here. I played Celeste again because what I do to when was it? It was September or October. I think it was October because there was a point in September where I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know if I really need Celeste right now. And then when October happened, I was like, I don't know. I think I kind of need to play some Celeste. Maybe it was September and I was good by October. I don't remember. Either way, there was a point last year where I needed it. And I did something a little different, which is why I feel like I can include it on the tier list, like guilt free. I played it without any obstacles. So you land on a spike, you're still jumping. You land at the bottom of the screen, you're still jumping. There is no death state. I think like if you get crushed, you can still die, but there's generally no death state. because that's something you can do in Celeste. And while I'd never done it before, it's something that I always really liked as a concept for this game in particular. Because to me, Celeste, that is all about that metaphor of climbing a mountain. We all have our own mountains, whatever they may be. They might be straight up obstacles that we need to conquer. They might be goals that we want to accomplish. Maybe it's a little bit of both. We all have our mountains we need to climb. And everyone's climb is a bit different. Some climbs are a lot easier. Some climbs are hard as shit. Sometimes we need the hard climb, and sometimes we need a quick jaunt. So I tried it like that because I felt like where I was currently at, I needed a quick jaunt more than I needed this arduous climb. And it was interesting because I think I beat it in like an afternoon, which I don't think I've ever beaten Celeste that quickly before, and I was not speedrunning. Um, it was an interesting experience. I feel like it was what I needed from the game at that time, but I don't think it's as meaningful. But alternatively, it might just be, the other times when I needed Celeste, I needed it, which is why it was more meaningful, and this was more of a I could use. Like I don't know, but in general, Celeste is a game that I put up here. This is one of my favorite games of all time. Like I consider it as part of my holy trinity. And if we include Kingdom Hearts, it's my holy quadrilogy, along with Persona 5 and Trails and I feel like this particular playthrough might not have been a double S experience. I think for this playthrough in particular, mm, wait, hold up. Fuck. Come on. Add row below because I want to give an S plus. It gets an S plus for not being quite a double S playthrough this time, but still being very meaningful, like still impactful and helpful, and also the fact that look, it's Celeste. I gotta do something with it. So I think that's the stuff that I could easily group together. And I guess there's a couple things I could maybe group together, but I don't think I'm quite gonna. So let's go into these other experiences. And now that we got all this other stuff on the screen, I'm just gonna try to put everything in the middle. I can grab them easier and talk about them easier. While I'm doing this, let me talk about Hi-Fi Rush for a bit. Um, I really didn't play that much of it. I think the problem that I have with Hi-Fi Rush is just I've seen multiple people play it, and I've seen most of the game at this point. So for me, I just don't feel that need to play it. Like I had it on the list. Like the game is really cool. Like I respect it a lot. I think the game looks great. I think it sounds great as a rhythm game fucking should. Um I don't know all the songs, but like I'm a very big fan of Lonely Boy by the Black Keys, so it being the start of the game like that's neat. I really appreciate that. I think the sense of humor is really fun. The fucking now that I've experienced Xenogears, it's like I got the reference. The reference is now way funny. Like it's a game that I think is incredible, but I was like, I've kind of already played this vicariously, and I got what I needed out of it. So I did like the first level, maybe the second. I was like, I guess I'm just kind of good. So I did drop it. So I gotta put it down in Snoop Dogg. But I mean that with respect toward it. It just I already got what I needed. So let's go ahead and do another game that I dropped, and that's Pinocchio. I'm just not a Souls guy. We'll get to Wukong. Well, we'll do Wukong right after. Why not? But I'm generally speaking not a Soulsborne guy, with some notable exceptions. That being Bloodborne, I really like Bloodborne. And I think a big part of that is I think is really neat, just this very wet Victorian England kind of shit, I think is neat. I really, really liked my threaded cane. It was the only weapon I used, it was the only weapon I needed. Um, I think what I really like about Bloodborne is just how aggressive it is. Not only in the rally mechanic, but the fact that there's not there's no way to block. Like, there's not a block button, there's a shield, but I think there's only one shield super early in the game, and it's not that good. Is this the game that said, like, shields are good if they don't engender passivity? Like, I think it's Bloodborne, maybe it was, like, Dark Souls 3, but Bloodborne is just like, "Okay, so we understand that there's a lot of weapons in our Souls games. There's a lot of ways you can play it. We know people really like using shields, and there's a good reason for that. What if we took the shields away? What if you just had to kill this thing before it killed you?" Which is definitely an oversimplification of Bloodborne. But in some fights, the one, what is it? I think it is the one Reborn. That is how that fight worked. Because when I tried to play that fight more defensively, I just was getting killed. And when I just said, I'm just going to run up and murder this thing, it was dead. It was really a really fun fight. And you can still play defensively. You still have to dodge. You can still parries. But even then, like when you get your parries, you're you're generating offense by playing defense, which granted is kind of how Soul's supposed to work, dodge and block for your defense, and now you have your opportunities. Bloodborne Bloodborne at times feels like playing the Yuzora fight where you're like, I'm just gonna make my own opportunity right now. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, try again because I will be dead. And I really like that, but I'm not supposed to be talking about Bloodborne. I'm supposed to be talking about Pinocchio. Pinocchio is more Bloodborne than Dark Souls, and I liked that. But as the game went on, I was just kind of getting to that, hmm, I'm just not crazy about the formula. I got about halfway through. I didn't fight the King of Puppets. That's about where I was. I think I was like in his mansion where there's these like puppet things that are really tanky, do a lot of damage, and if you're around them too long, you just die. And around that point, I was starting to get the, am I playing this because I'm enjoying it or because I feel like I should? And I realized I'm not really enjoying it anymore. And then when I got to that point, I was like, I'm just not enjoying this anymore. It was really fun to listen to Worm though while I was playing Lies of P. Like I remember listening to like the entirety of the Travelers interlude while doing it. I think I listened to most of the Coil art while listening to or while playing Pinocchio. I also remember listening to The Suburbs by Arcade Fire, and that was honestly a really fun experience. And again, it's kinda like with Hi-Fi Rush, where I'm like, I did not hate this game by any means. It's just, this one I experienced vicariously, these I just didn't get into, and this was, I gave it a really good faith effort. It's just not for me, but I understand why people like it. I think it's super neat. I know the DLC is now coming out because it was just announced a couple days ago. I'm like, I is this supposed to be Wizard of Oz? I think Dorothy is at the end of the game because Wizard of Oz Souls. Since I don't play Souls games, it sounds neat as hell. I might have to try it. We'll see. There's that. Let's go ahead and talk about Monkey Souls for a bit. Black Myth Wukong, which I have already done a tier list on. Shout out to my friend Wyatt. We did that together. It was really fun. So here's why I liked Wukong, even though I don't particularly care for Souls games. I think a big part of it is the fact that you can respec basically on the fly. Because I believe in Souls games, like it's no, like this costs resources. You can't always do it. And Wukong is like, hey, do you want to just respec because what you're doing is not working for this boss? Go for it. It's completely free. The, what the hell? Sorry, I just realized there's an extra tier here. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, sorry, I just noticed that and it started really distracting me. Anyways, being able to respec more or less whatever you want for free is really nice. The fact that when you die, you don't lose. I don't remember what it's called, so let me just say your souls. You don't lose your souls when you die. That's just nice. I just appreciated that. I like all the different ways you could really spec your character. Like, here's all the different stances. Here's just like, do you want to buff your strength? Do you want to buff your defense? Do you want to buff this? Do you want to buff these individual spells? Because each spell has its own skill tree. It feels like, and I don't want to say there's not builds in Souls games. There absolutely are. But I just liked all the builds available to me here. And also, I get to play as Sun Wukong. Again, not exactly, but I'm playing as Sun Wukong. This is dope as shit. Like, this just appeals to me. It's kind of why, like, I was stuck around with this as much as I did. Of like, yeah, like the fact that I'm doing Pinocchio stuff, like, I think is a really cool thing. Um, yes, is like the themed Dark Souls, like the themed Souls games appeal to me more than just here's a Souls game, I guess. I did find the game really fun. I think some of the bosses are incredible. I think some of the bosses, killer bro, fucking suck. I think some of the levels are really fun. I think some of the levels really suck. Honestly, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not sure how I want to play this because I would not. It's not a C tier game because I genuinely enjoyed it and had a good time. So I feel like that would put it in A. But I also kind of noticed that there was a point where I was like, I'm starting to feel it. Like, can I just be done now? I'm still enjoying it. I'm not just doing it because I should. I'm doing it because I like it, but I'm getting there. And I feel like there are a few points in the game where I was there and I thought the ending was really weak. Like the last chapter I thought was weak. The final boss is really good. And that's I beat it on Thanksgiving, or it was, like, the day before or the day after. I remember that and, like, did not touch a video game the rest of the year, which granted, that's only a month, but, like, yeah, I could have started Metaphor, and I didn't. I could have started Raincoat or Digimon Survive, and I didn't. Still haven't started any of those games, by the way. And I feel like Wukong kind of wiped me a bit. And that's not just like, "Dude, I played the greatest game ever, like, I need a break." It was just that took a while and kinda took a lot out of me. So what the hell just trying to click on this, dude. So I don't think it's an A. I feel like it's a B plus or an A minus, and I'm not sure which. So I'm just gonna give it its own tier in the middle, and we'll see how we feel from there. Since we're not doing this in alphabetical order at all, let's just go with Balatro. I'm just gonna put it here. I didn't play a whole lot of it. I, my friends were playing a lot of it. The game looked fun as shit. I did a couple runs. I thought it was fun as shit. I like poker. Like, I don't play a lot of poker. Like, I like playing card games. And so, like, all right, it's poker with astronomically big numbers, and my monkey brain likes big numbers. So I'm gonna put Balatro up there. You can't stop me. That just kind of feels right. And like, yeah, I think I am gonna put in a Buffalo Cock. That also like that feels a little weird, but also feels right. Okay. Um, fuck it. Let's go with Detective School Club. So this is a short visual novel that came out last year, or maybe it was already out, but like the translation came out. It is. It was only a couple hours. It's a very Phoenix Wright, Danganronpa inspired little jaunt. Which is not the first time I've used that word. I don't know, but jaunt's a new word for me, and I actually like it. I find it very pleasant. But is this little jaunt of go to a new school, you join the detective club, and you help solve the case. And you do some interviews, you got to press for questions, and blah blah blah. If you've played Phoenix Wright or Danganronpa, you kind of know exactly what this game is. And if you like those games, you'll have a good time with this. If you don't like those games, you probably shouldn't play it. I was talking about in the last video that I'm kind of feeling my Danganronpa kicking in, or like my Danganronpa itch kicking in. So I very much enjoyed this. I would be pretty happy if there was like another chapter or something, because it's a little too short. It feels like almost more of a proof of concept than a full game. But if there is like another chapter that comes out or like a bigger release, I would definitely play it because I just like this kind of thing. So yeah, I had a really good time with it, even though it's short. I'm gonna put it in A. Okay, I'm starting to feel kind of I like the game. I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Um. All right. If I'm going to talk about detective style games, let me go ahead and start talking about Nirvana Initiative. So I don't remember when I played Somnium Files. I think it was the year it came out, or like the year after. So that was Clay was still in another house. It was either early 2020 or 2020 hadn't happened yet. So it was like 18 or 19, somewhere around there. I think I was done with law school. Anyway, sorry, but like I played it like the year it came out or the year after. I had a real time with Somnium Files. Great game, highly recommend it. So when Nirvana Initiative came out, I was very excited for it and wanted to play it. I did not play it the year it came out. I think it was like 22 or 23. I hadn't had a chance to get it, but I had my eye on it. I was like, I'm really looking forward to playing this. And my friend, who I think Dylan is the one who recommended the original game to me, because I got him into Danganronpa because he also really likes these kinds of games. And he was telling me just like you've got to play Nirvana Initiative. Like it's really good. Like you liked the first game, you're really going to like this one. And I'll be honest, there are some aspects, like I think there are some aspects in the writing where I wasn't as crazy about. And there's some parts in the plot once you get to the twist where I go, hmm, how much do I buy that? Like that makes like I can see it, but also that's a little convenient. Like there's a lot of those kinds of things. But here's the thing. Overall, I like the writing a lot, and I just like the game's sense of humor. I like the story a lot. And I remember before I got to the twist, I said full spoilers already, so I'll go ahead and talk about it in detail. The big twist of the game is that the timeline you think you're playing is incorrect. That it's not like, okay, this is the past, and then like this character is the past, this character is the future. It's no, this dude is the past and the future, and this girl is the past and the future. It if you play the game, it makes more sense the way I'm explaining it. And the neat part was as I was playing it, I realized that the timeline was wrong. I was like, wait a second, wait a second, wait a second. They're talking about this like that shit just happened. But it couldn't have just happened because this is huh? Huh? There was a few things. It wasn't just like one. I noticed like a solid like 3 or 4 of these inconsistencies. I was like, huh, that's a lot of inconsistencies. And I feel like this writer is so meticulous about this kind of thing that has to be intentional. I'm not sure why yet, but I can tell you're setting something up. So when the twist happened, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes so much sense because this explains this and that and that and that. And you son of a bitch. Like I loved it. And that's my I know it's something I've talked about in some of my other videos. I can't think of one specifically off the top of my head. It's shit like that, which is why I say I don't often feel surprised in storytelling, and when I do, it's either really good or really bad. Like, this is a really cool twist. Excuse me, at least I think so. And there are very clear breadcrumbs, and I was able to follow the breadcrumbs. So when it's revealed, I'm not going, "Man, I am shocked." It's, "Ah, I get it now because I get what you were doing, and I saw that shit and knew something was off." Didn't necessarily know where we were going, but I could see it. Good shit, I really like it. When something really surprises me, it's either, "Oh, man, I completely missed what you were doing, but I can like, now that I've seen it, I immediately know the things I missed. Good shit, like, you pulled one over on me." And other times it's like, "What are you doing? You had other shit that was so perfectly set up, and then you just did none of it. Why are you like this? Like, why did you squander this opportunity?" But, I had a really good time with Nirvana Initiative, and then I got the I don't know how I wanna say it, like, the post-game ending. There's a point early on where someone asks you for, like, a code, and you will not have the code, and you can't look it up because it is unique to your copy of the game, and shit like that. I was talking about this with Totono in the last video. It's the kind of metafictional bullshit that I love. It's like, you cannot look this up. This is in your copy of the game. And you only get that number after you beat the game. But because of the way the game is, you can just kind of go to a lot of these scenes. You could go back, put the number in, everything gets fucking weird. It's so cool to me, like, what happens in this scene, and it took a game that I genuinely, like, really enjoyed and really loved and made it fucking incredible. I'm gonna put it there. I like having an S plus. Like, I think that's really neat. I'm not gonna put it like, I feel like I enjoyed it more than these. I have something else that's gonna go in the double S of just the unique games I played this year. Actually, technically last year, but I'm gonna put it in S plus. I loved Nirvana Initiative. Um, Kuro 2, let me just go ahead and get you out of the way. This is specifically the post game. It's doing the end of the garden. This is not the actual game as a whole, which I already played in 23. And if you saw that video or my 4-hour diatribe of Kuro 2. You know I fucking hate Kuro 2. I think it sucks. I'll be honest, in hindsight, I'm a little kinder to it because the game is fun. Just some of the like the way they changed the UI for your turn order is way better than it was in Kuro 1. And I mean, it was already fixed, you didn't have to break it, but I'll at least give it credit for that. I think some of the mini games are fun. I really like the stupid basketball mini game. It's so fun. I like the intermission quite a bit. The she's in a super boss fight is really fucking fun. However, I don't like the game's story just kind of on principle. I don't like how never mind. I'm not trying to talk about Kuro 2. I don't want to get started on Kuro 2. Let me get finished with Kuro 2 because this was the post game. I went ahead and did it, and it's just the garden, and the garden's not particularly fun or all that interesting. Like, it's after a while, I'm like, am I done yet? And then the reveal by the end of the literal devil in the machine. It's like, oh yeah, this is why people were becoming assholes and acting out of character and blah blah blah. It's because Satan. Like, not quite, but more or less like this. Okay, whatever, dude. It's Kuro too. So I'm not gonna give it an F. I don't know. I don't even there's a part of me that says maybe I should put it in C, but I'm not. I'm gonna keep it in D. That's fine. Who do we got next? Let's talk about Pokemon next. D Specifically the Pokemon DLC. Mm, I'm trying to remember because I think Teal Mask and Indigo Disc came out in 3, and then Mochi Mayhem came out in, like, January or February of 24. So this is specifically just the Pesharont thing. The mochi, mochi, mochi. It's so stupid. I love it, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time, but it's dumb as rocks. Um, I had a good time with it. I like Pokemon. I really like Pesharon's theme, how it's just like the loyal 3. I do prefer calling them the lousy 3. It's the lousy 3's theme, but like a bit more like kind of energy to it. I like that if you throw Ogerpon out against Pesharunt, she just kind of has this like she wants to kick his ass, and I love that. It was a fun time. Give it an A. I had fun with it. Fuck, I'm just gonna put Wukong in A. Like I don't know. This feels some of these things are like some of these like really short things. Like, am I really gonna say I like them more than Wukong? Mm, no, fuck those frogs. You know what? Fuck Yellowbrow. Fuck the red frog that could turn to stone. Fuck the oh gosh, that fire demon. There were like if you have it destroy part of the arena, the fight becomes a lot easier and more manageable, but it's still insanely hard. No, there's a lot of shit in this game I just did not like. Your Wukong's gonna. Ruby Knight. This was a demo that I played. You do like two bosses. It's pixel art, Little Red Riding Hood kind of grim fairy tale game where you're just gonna be like fighting bosses. It was really fun. I really liked it. I think I have it wish listed. I definitely want to check it out when the full game comes out. I don't know if that's going to be in 2025. I hope it is. I very much want to play it. It's kind of that exact niche that I have, or like one of my exact niches. Not necessarily in terms of its gameplay, but the like Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale kind of thing. Like I really like Shrek. There's other reasons, but I like things that mess with fairy tales. I really like Ruby. Ruby has its problems. I can't say I don't care because, I think season 4 mostly really sucks, and I think season 6 is terrible. But there's a lot of Ruby that I really, really like. And I really liked Ruby Knight. Yeah, where do I want to put it? Because it is a demo. I had fun. It's another short little jaunt that goes above. I'm not even doing a bit at this point. I'm just like, yeah, these things were really fun. And I think that's kind of part of it too. It's like a lot of these were just fun things I did for a little bit and they felt very concise. And I'm like, yeah, they weren't amazing enough to say this is like my favorite shit of the year, but I liked them a lot. And then some of these other things like were really good and this is on it. Like I had a good time. That's why it's here and not down here. But I did feel like the game kind of broke me a little bit. And I can't even say why. It's not like, man, this fight was so hard it broke me. Although fuck Yellowbrow, it really was just kind of good. Oh boy, where do I put Conquer? I where do I put Conquer? I finished it. Oh, it can't go down here. I didn't it, so it's not going up here. I don't even know if I like it. So I don't think it's going up here. So here's the thing. I wanted to play Conquer for years, like decade plus. Was really, really interested in this game. I've seen a lot of the cutscenes and its sense of humor, and I think the game is just um I really enjoyed it. But I also had to play it. And I will give it credit. I do think it's neat that basically every chapter is just its own gameplay and just everything feels completely different. Like, we tried a lot of different things. I don't know how much of them worked. I don't know how much of them were fun. I get a lot more enjoyment watching the cutscenes than I do playing the game, which for a game is not necessarily a good thing. Um, there's a part of me that says, like, I wanna put it in B, like, I respect it more than I like it because of how hard it made me laugh, but I'm also like, "Look, man, I had to play this shit. I can't put it that high." I think C feels right. Uh, no, I am gonna put it in B. Yeah, kind of gonna put it beside Whoop. Yeah. Well, dog's Bradford. I don't know, that weirdly feels kinda right, so I'm gonna do that, we're gonna lock that shit up. Okay, 5 games left. Mario Party, I'm gonna give it an A plus because it's Mario Party. This is a really fun Mario Party game, and it's something I just got to do with the boys. I like hanging out with the boys and, like, playing fighting games or playing party games, and Mario Party, it's in the fucking title, it's kind of the ultimate party game. Had a really good time playing Jamboree. I had there was this one game where I was winning the entire time, and I looked at Wyatt at one point and I said, "This is what's gonna happen. This is how you're going to win this game, and you're gonna steal it from me right at the end." And it is exactly as I foretold. To the point where I was like, I can't even be mad because I knew it was gonna happen. I told y'all it was gonna happen. If anything, I'm happy that I'm vindicated. And then, like, the next day, I think I stole a game from him that I had no business winning. I'm like, I'll take it, man." It was a really good time. Now let me talk about Four Swords Adventures. So, speaking of games I played with the boys, this is a game I played with Clay, Jose, and N7. And I started out really excited as like I get to play, I've never played this game. Let's give it a shot. I get to play with my friends. This is gonna be amazing. And the more I played, the more I was like, but I'm not having fun. Like I don't really enjoy this. Like, I like Zelda. Sometimes I really like Zelda. I don't know how often I really love Zelda. Although I do feel like, no, I do love Twilight Princess and probably Ocarina of Time. And there's a lot of elements of I guess that's kind of the thing. Like, there's a lot of elements of Zelda games that I love, but it's not my go-to series the way it is for like everyone else. And don't get me wrong, that is not me trying to disrespect Zelda. Like, I got no beef with it for the most part. It's just I like them, I don't love them for the most. But again, for the most. And as this went on, I was like, I'm not really having fun. I'm doing this because I should, not particularly because I want to. But I'm not doing it by myself. I'm doing it with my friends, and I don't want to drop it and like be an asshole, but I kind of rather do other things. And then there was a point where I had a conversation with Clay and Jose, and all three of us were like, yeah, we kind of all feel the same way. But N7's having a good time, so let's keep playing it. And then the more we played it, Jose was like, I kind of changed my mind. I'm really having fun with it. And then we kept playing it, and then I went, I kind of changed my mind. I'm having fun with it. And Clay never kind of did. He just fucking hated it. But I don't even know what it was. I think for me, it's the Prison Break level, the whole like Metal Gear Solid ass level, where I was like, this was a long, arduous, and miserable experience, but it was also super fun. I thought the last few levels were really fun. Um, to be honest, I feel like I kind of have to put it up here. Like, by the end, it really was up here, and it was because I got to play a game with the boys. Okay, 3 left. we're gonna go ahead and talk about Xenogears. I don't really know how to talk about Xenogears. Did I do a video on it? Because I know I like wanted to, and I took a lot of notes, but I also don't think I did. So here's the thing. Like Conquer, I'd been wanting to play Xenogears for a very, very long time. And in 23, I played Xenosaga. I played episode 1, episode 3. I skipped episode 2, but I watched the cutscenes, so I knew what was going on. I was like, okay, Xenosaga kind of fucks. I don't like playing Xenoblade. Like, one, I don't think is a fun game to play. I don't like the combat. The story is phenomenal. XC2 has a lot of problems, but I do really like it and I think is fun. And XC3, I just watched Clay play. I was like, I don't need to play it. I'm getting what I need. Like, to me, Xenoblade 3 isn't a game, it's a show. Like, this is my favorite show of this. What was that, 23? No, it was before 20. I think it was 2022 is when XC3 came out. I loved watching Xenoblade 3. It's phenomenal. And this is the one that started it all. And I was very excited for it. And after a while, I realized it's not full or like unfun. I don't like playing it. Like combat, like X or not XC. It's XS1. Xenosaga 1 is a really slow game with its combat. But it's also really tactical and strategic and just how you're managing, excuse me, both your AP and your turn order bonuses that made it so fucking fun to play. XC3, I keep doing that, but Xenosaga 3 isn't as tactical as 1, but in other ways is just as fun, if not more so. And I really, really liked it. This just felt kind of slow playing it. And I like navigation I felt was really ass. Like I was getting lost super easy. Like I have a really bad sense of direction. When the way Xenogears is done just didn't help. So there was a point early on where I said, I'm gonna stop playing the game and I'm just gonna watch it. I am gonna treat it as a show. So there's an argument to be made that maybe it should just go here because I dropped the game, but I stuck with the entire story. So I feel like I'm just kind of grading it on that. So I really liked it, but was also by the end just kind of, wait, what? Like I know it's Xeno. It's gonna be like kind of weird and out there and have like a lot of biblical Gnostic shit going on, but what? What the fuck is happening? Do I like this? And not in a way where I'm like, this is freaking stupid. It's just more of a like, this is really weird and it's really unique. Do I think this is really cool or is it losing me? Because it's kind of doing both at the same time where I don't really know where I want to put it. So I kind of want to put it in, kind of want to put it up here. It's just this weird tier of like, I really liked this, but I also kind of didn't. So Wukong's Bad Fur Day also featuring Xenogears. Um, I don't know. I am gonna move it up. I feel like I kind of want to. Do I though? Do I though? I do. because there are some things in the game that I really like. Because I honestly like a lot of the characters and their stories. I think it was Maria was her name, which as soon as she showed up, I was like, wait a second, I fought you in Xenosaga 3. What the hell? And that's the thing. Here's what I loved about Xenogears. Because like I was about to say, like, I really liked her story and like the connection with her dad and everything was a really good arc. And Ellie and her parents, like that scene with them and Hammer is my favorite scene in the game. I think it's absolutely fantastic. A lot of these character beats I think are really good. My favorite thing about Xenogears is the fact that I've played these other games, and it's just the reincarnation, like all the Faye and Ellie stuff. Because I remember, I think it's when you, what's her name, like Sophia or something, like the last couple Ellies, and I saw her picture and went, "That's Nephilim. I know you. I've seen you in Xenosaga." Because when I saw Abel in Xenosaga, I knew that was Faye. I didn't know Ellie was there the whole time too. What the hell? This is so cool. Um, because that's the thing. As much as there's points in Xenogears where I was like, I don't know, this is a lot. This is kind of weird. This is strange, but it's neat, and I kind of like it. There was shit where I just went, I'm in. This is awesome. So I'm going to put it up here. And now we've got Unicorn Overlord and 3 loads. So I'm just going to put them both up here because that's where they belong. Although, one of, let's find out who. It's Persona 3. But let me talk about Unicorn Overlord for a bit because I fucking loved this game. You know, I was just saying with Wukong, like how I enjoyed the game a lot, but there was just also a lot of point. This part isn't that fun. Like, I think this level sucks. I think this boss kind of sucks. Oh, hey, now there's a point where I'm enjoying the game again. Oh, here's another lull. Am I enjoying this or not? Oh, look, another part where I'm having fun. Cool, I can keep going. That never happened with Unicorn Overlord. I just started playing the game and basically didn't stop. Like, that was my free time when I was playing it. Like, yeah, it's a simple story of big bad evil dude took over your kingdom. Go get it back. Go like conquer some places and like make alliances and blah blah blah. And I don't know. I like shit like that. Like I liked the Elf Kingdom and stuff. I liked like all the wild beasts kingdom in the Arctic and whatnot. I liked a lot of these environments. I liked a lot of the lore. I really liked the cast. Wow, this game is so pretty. Like, I love the art style. I think the music is really good. I like a lot of the supports. They were just really fun. The game was really fun to play. I'm I love strategy games and like tactical shit. I also love micromanaging, and boy, can you micromanage in this game. I'm like, oh, I know I've said a few times, like, this is my exact niche. This is my exact niche. Tactical micromanaging. While also being like a Fire Emblem fantasy kind of story. And I just love the way people talk in this game. Oh gosh. Like I know there were some lines I wrote down. I think there's one where a character's fuck, what was it? She's, like, mad at someone, and I think the curse that she yells is like, "May all of your like, omelets have bits of eggshells in them." I thought that was great. I love that when someone is, like, a knight, they're called Sir, but not with an I, with an E, like, S-E-R. I'm like, "I've never heard that before," and I was telling Clay about it, he's like, "No, yeah, like, that's just old-timey shit." I'm like, "This is so cool! I love the old-timey shit." A phrase that I actually just started using in Orichalco because I love it is "in sooth." Instead of saying like, "Hey, I'm being honest," like truthfully, in sooth, blah 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 blah. Um, this game is phenomenal. I like you can tell like how giddy I am. Like I love Unicorn Overlord. Of all like Skullgirls is up here because it's my favorite fighting game I played this year, and it's Skullgirls, one of my favorite games ever. Kingdom Hearts is up here because it's Kingdom Hearts. It's not gonna not be up here. Celeste isn't up here because this particular playthrough had a bit of a different thing, but Celeste in general is up here. I want to put Unicorn Overlord up here with just how much I enjoyed it, but I can't because Three Load was just that good. I had said for years, well, number one, I had said there is no definitive version of Persona 3. And I think I stand corrected on that, although I know there are people who disagree. But I had said if they can make a version of Persona 3 that doesn't suck to play, where I can control my party members and not have to rely on their really dumb AI, it might be the best Persona game. Because I think the story of Persona 3 is really good. I think the cast of Persona 3 is really strong. And it has the best social links. Having played that version of Persona 3 where I can control my party members, so I'm not just being annoyed by the AI, it's not my favorite Persona game. That's still 5. I had to think about it. I can make the argument that I'm still thinking about it. My video on 3 load is one of my favorites that I've done. I remember I think I didn't record it on a full moon, but I, like, uploaded it on a full moon because it's 3 load, I kinda had to. I remember as I started recording, like, the way the light was coming into my room, it was very blue, and I don't know how well that actually showed up on camera, but I was like, "Okay, this is perfect. I have to go now." I remember as I was talking about Takaya. I actually changed my perspective, 'cause I was like, "I fucking hate this dude." Like, I don't know, Revolver Jesus memes, like, they're fun, but I hate this son of a bitch. And the more like, as I was talking about it, I was like, "You know, I actually like Takaya. I think he's a piece of shit, don't get me wrong, but, like, I feel like I can understand the character a lot better, I can really see what they're going for. This is a well done character, even if I hate his guts, almost because I hate his guts." And I don't remember what part of the video it was, but I remember I cried. And it was either talking about the end or it was talking about Akinori. It was probably talking about Akinori. Oh, man, it does have the best social links. I think Akinari is the best social link in the series. And the rank 11s, as I like to call them, on the final day where you can talk to everyone you've maxed out and you talk to Akinari's mom. That shit. I think the game is very fun. I think the characters are really good. Junpei is my favorite member of C's. I really like his story and his relationship with Chidori. Um, the ending is great. The reason Persona 3 is up here, above Unicorn Overlord and Nirvana Initiative and the dope ass fight with Yuzora and all the vibes that are Tekken and all of that, is because the game kind of set the tone for my year, which was you gotta live your life. You have no idea how much time you have. You could have a lot, you could have a bit, you could have a little bit left. For all you know, this is your last year. So live a life you want to live. Like there's shit you got to do, and that happens. You got your responsibilities. You got to go to school. You got to go to work. You got to, take care of things. But when it's your free time, spend it on things that matter. Spend it with people that matter. Spend it alone if you need that alone time. Maximize your time so that you maximize your life. And that really was a big theme for me in 2024. And there were other things that alluded to that too, like Zom 100s was one, Freerun was definitely another one. But I feel like it all like really kind of stemmed from Persona 3. Um, I hope I don't die in March after play. What is it, March 4th or something? Like, oh man, but it I feel like this version of Persona 3 for me, like it's one thing to play a good game. It's one thing to play a game that's like interesting. Here I felt like I played a game that really mattered. Like when I in other playthroughs of Celeste. Also, by the way, you know how you can do that thing where like Spotify will say like these are your most played songs, and how YouTube does that too? Because I use YouTube and I use Spotify. My most played song in 2024 was "Color Your Night." I listen to that song a lot. I also really like "Full Moon, Full Life," but "Color Your Night" is just perfect. And yeah, that's the tier list. I guess I don't have anything in the C tier, so I guess I'll just delete. And there we go. This was the games I played in 2024, the tier list. So that's it for this one. I still have two left, which these are. I don't know if you can still see what I'm sharing. No, I don't think you can. They're empty right now because I haven't uploaded things again because I didn't want to get them organized. But I got two left. Like I said, show and movies. There's a non-zero chance I might go ahead and do one of them here in a sec. Probably not. But I'm gonna go check on some stuff. If I get to one of them today, I get to one of them today. If I don't, I don't. But I at least got this one done. I got another one done. I'm happy at least getting two done in one day. So if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And if I do see you, I mean, I still hope you have, but I'll see you.